Welcome back to the Interviewing People Career Cast, featuring highlights from the full-length interview with Lauren Brown, who's working toward her Juris Doctor degree to fulfill her desire to become a lawyer. In the highlights, Lauren shares about her experience with the LSAT, how the opportunity to be a law clerk has impacted her, and much more. So sit back, relax, and know you can always go back to watch our full interview if you'd like to learn more. Enjoy the show.
I actually wanted to be a pharmacist. I did my whole sophomore year career investigation, I guess, on being a pharmacist. And that's what I did. I pursued STEM classes, so like chemistry, bio, all of those things for my first 2 years at Ohio State. And then me and some of those classes did not mix very well. So I decided to look into other things, and thankfully another VB grad, Drew Ashcraft, who is quite a bit older than I am, was currently in law school at Ohio Northern. And since I had showed interest, he allowed me to sit in on a few classes with him. And I just was engrossed with how things were taught and just law school in general, and then the idea of being a lawyer. So then I started studying for the LSAT and changed my major and was still able to graduate on time, thank goodness. I'm kind of a horse blinders person, so giving up what I had envisioned myself doing was really difficult. But once I kind of came to terms with that I could still do something else that I thought would be good for me or a good fit, that wasn't just what I had envisioned sophomore year of high school or even my senior year.
Right.
So that was super big, but also Drew was really encouraging and figuring it out and able to explain to me. A lot of people that go to law school end up in political science degrees, a lot of English and that history and that as well, but it also just was in the same colleges at Ohio State that I was already in, so it allowed me to count a lot of the general education classes I had already taken. So it was kind of a little bit out of convenience, but also just a lot of the theory classes I really liked. So personally, I'm not a big fan of standardized testing, which is funny since I have to take another one for this. But I took a course that Drew, again, recommended that I take to help prep for it, but there's 4 sections of it. So it's similar to the ACT in that the different sections mean different things. And but it was difficult, but it was just because I wanted a really good score, so I was working towards that. At least when I was in high school, it's kind of the same impact of the ACT does. It kind of helps determine scholarships, and it does determine where you can get in. I wasn't looking to leave Ohio or go to any super prestigious schools like Case Western or something like that. So I didn't need a really high score, but it's always helpful. Just with the ACT, it helps with scholarships and that kind of stuff, and it can always boost. It's not going to hurt to have a high score. Well, my first year in law school, in that spring semester, one of my friends was applying to it, and I hadn't thought about criminal. My mom is a paralegal and worked in criminal a little bit. And so I knew a little bit about it, but that was in Findlay. So I was a much different scale than Columbus. But yeah, I just applied. And then once I started, now I want to be a prosecutor. So I really liked it. Well, still like it, I guess. But I've been working there for over a year. Franklin County has almost 100 prosecutors total across all divisions. So I work in the felony unit, which is as it sounds if you're charged with a felony. But yeah, so it's helped me just learn more about the criminal justice system, and also like how the communities work, as in like we deal with the public defenders a lot. I watched Ian Rafferty's
Mhm.
interview because it was interesting to like hear what a non-law like student, what their job could be in the criminal justice system besides literally like being a front desk person or something.
Right.
So it was interesting to see that that does exist other places, like that isn't a law student. But we write motions, and what I mainly do is I put together a discovery, which is basically like all of the facts, all of the video, all of the interviews, all of the audio, all of that kind of stuff, all the police reports. We put them together so that the defense counsel can have them. There are also like political options. If you think of like lobbyists, a lot of those like political advocates and stuff are lawyers because they write laws. So like knowing how those words are effective is really important, and it makes their job, them able to do their job.
Mhm.
And also just a lot of business people get law degrees because just being aware of the law and having that knowledge is very valuable. There's someone in my class that her children are like heavily disabled, so she wants to know more about the law and how like she can help and more advocate for them. And there are other people that like are really involved in the foster care system, so being able to be a guardian or of those sorts, but like also know the legal implications is very important to them. So it's a very big task to take on for a lot of those passion projects, I guess you could say. But yeah, there's a lot of options. I think it's also just sometimes the prestige of having a JD is like just applicable or like wanted by some people. It's a lot of work. So I want to be a lawyer, but I also understand that like not everyone wants to sit in trial every day. So there's also just uh, a lot of like business and contracts and corporations. And uh, my mom currently works at the Flag City Title Agency. So you can also do like real estate and a lot of that, like that kind of stuff. So
Right.
there's more law in places than you would think. I think for me, it's realizing how much it's like forced me to grow as a person and in my education. Uh, we joke a lot about how different our brains worked even 2 months ago because we're being pushed so hard. You're constantly just changing and evolving, and it's really hard in the moment because you don't realize how much you've changed. But like looking back, it's astonishing how much has changed just in how I think and that kind of thing. But it's also rewarding in the way of, um, I mean, in my job, we get to advocate for victims, so we get to see some kind of justice in hopefully not whatever way we can, but in the best way that we can. So being able to see that through is really powerful. And also just, we have a lot of control over what happens to people in their lives. And it's a very big responsibility. So being able to serve justice while also not giving another person disjustice is like, I like the balance of it, I guess. I think for me, the jump from going to Van Buren to such a big school was difficult in the sense that a lot of people had a very different education than I did. Just for, I mean, they come from all over the world. So you're competing with all those people, but it's also, um, I mean, there are other Van Buren grads that are doing great things in STEM majors and are able to do it. But for me, it was more accepting that whatever idea I had didn't need to come through to the end. It was okay to let go of whatever I thought I needed to do in my life. And especially like graduating high school and you have a major set and you have whatever career you want to do, that you should definitely run towards it, but not be afraid to run in a different direction either. That you don't have to I was definitely too horse blinders about it. And I think I stuck in my major longer than I needed to, just because I wanted to see it through so badly.
Thank you for watching this episode showing highlights of the latest Interviewing People career cast with Lauren Brown. And to make your Mondays better than ever, subscribe so you can hear more career stories from those who are actually doing the work. Thank you for watching, and as always, remember that the best part about Mondays is interviewing people.